Good morning, guys. I am back this morning. You know this is Paula. I know I have a bad habit of saying, good morning, Paula back here. It's because I didn't know what else to say in the beginning. So, I just want to say good morning. It's bright and early, 5:30 in the morning. And I started working last night on prepping for this. I thought we would do some massive decoupaging. Now, we're going to be using the Tim Holtz decoupage. It's mixed media paper. You can use it on mixed media. You can do it on tags. You can do it on anything. And I'm trying to get ahead on some things. I'm low on all my decoupage items, so let's just start with this small one. The first thing you do is I watered down my my decoupage solution for a little bit so that it wouldn't be so super sticky. Now, if I had been smart, I would have put some gloves on. But to me, they just get in my way and it drives me crazy. So I'm going to try to do these super fast. We have a lot to do, but it's kind of going to give you an idea of what's coming up. I will tell you this. I have some stuff ordered to go with my next little golden book, just because I thought I had to have a particular paper. I'm ordering some carousel paper by Maggie Holmes, just to get a couple sheets that's in there, but they weren't selling them individual anymore at scrapbook.com, so I just went in and they were having a cyber, every day's a cyber day now. Used to be you had Black Friday and then you had Cyber Monday. Now it's Cyber Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you name it. So all I'm doing here is wetting my tag, and you don't have to go in the same direction. You want to be careful. You can tear it, and I wasn't real smart. I didn't wear gloves. And then you just get a piece of parchment paper or something here to the side to lay your wet items on. And I thought we would do this really cool floral by Tim Holtz. I should have left that setting out to show you guys. I'll grab it in between. I bought 3 different ones when I was in Kansas City at my sister's visiting this summer. And I just haven't had a chance to use them. So when I do card bases like this, I just wet the bottom. Now, this is a different type. This is a full-on decoupage that we're doing right here. I know how I want it to look. It's going to look just like how we tear it off. I'm not piecing it, because why piece it if you don't have to? Look how perfect that is. And now, mind you, I do piece when I decoupage a lot. So after you get that on, you got to be very gentle not to overload the top with decoupage glue, because it will tear a hole in your project. Now, back here, I always like to do the back of the card, because I love the way it feels when you decoupage over something. Even your bare spots look better, feel better, and make more sense. Now, find a place to grab hold so we can move it over to dry. And there we go. Now we've got this section down here. We'll let it dry a little bit, and if we need this, we'll tear it off too. We have one little maybe 2 little more spaces on this particular piece of paper to decoupage on. I'm kind of moving them over so we can maybe get all of these done. They'll want to curl up on you sometimes. You just kind of push them down if that happens. And I've got 3 different decoupage items. Like last week I set and cut tags and file tags and various sizes of tags, and then of course got the envelopes ready because I always like to do some envelopes, and got all of it ready. And then late last night I set and cut tissue so you guys wouldn't have to sit and be bored out of your mind when I was doing it. It's bad enough just to watch me do something repetitive. But you know, this is part of it. You have to take the fun with the not so much fun. Although I love to decoupage. I don't know about you guys, but you get such a cool look. And you can decoupage on anything. I've made some really cute things that I decoupaged over the years. Even my kitchen canisters have been decoupaged, and they're super cute. I actually sewed some of those, but they were so much work. I'd have to charge like $100 because they took so long to make. They made little salt and pepper shakers and so forth, but I got the glass containers at Hobby Lobby, and I cut out some of my favorite papers. I can't remember the name of the paper now, but it was the one that was like really made for recipes by, I think it was Prima, and it had the roosters and the big sunflowers and some really cool prints. I took it and made a canister set. The problem was you had to use double-sided paper, so you had to like what was on both sides of your paper, and it was fun, and it turned out really, really cute. Then I spray painted the lids with like a maroon or burgundy color, and that turned out really cute too. Okay, so we have all of this floral done. Let me kind of tilt you up. All of this Tim Holtz floral. It's like roses. Okay, I'm going to bring you back down and hopefully not make you seasick. There we go. All right, now I'm going to move this piece of paper that has all this drying on it off out of our way to dry. And it's not the easiest thing to do because everybody wants to follow everybody. You've got like 10 things on here and they're all wanting to go in the same place. I'm going to set them on the floor behind me, kind of pull them apart so they don't stick to each other, because that's what they want to do in the beginning. And let these dry while we move on to this time. I thought we would move on to using a cute napkin. Now I have, like I said, I have 3 different Tim Holtz papers, but I really want to do some of these little floral ones that I've got ready right now, because I've got a couple really cute books I want to do, guys. They're like old books, but they have beautiful covers on them, and I'm going to use some of Mrs. Cog's images on it, and I don't know much further than that. I don't know exactly what else is going to end up on it, but so I won't be covering the outside of the front of the book, because it's already stunning. And but my next book, I thought I'd get some of this kind of, what do you call it? Maintenance work. Have to have this done to do the rest. I like to keep several things like this handy so that not everything, you know, is so plain. I like to have several nice items on my pages. And then I'll set this over on this. This is a beautiful tulip, pink. It's got pink and peach tulips on it. Primarily pink. But I don't know if we were together the other day when I was cutting a million tags and file folders, and I had cards, file folders, multiple sizes of tags. And I got all those cut out and just haven't had a chance to go back to it. You just you have to kind of jump around when you do what we do. You know, it's, you don't know from one day to the next. Listen, guys, I got a haul yesterday. Wow. My husband and I went to pick up the buffet in another little town that I got to go with my new little dinette set. I don't know if they called it dinette set back then, but it's the cutest little table and chairs. And when I get it all finished in there, I'll try to remember to take a picture of it. I'll let you guys see how it turns out. I still got to come up with a rug, and, you know, it's a very small area off of my kitchen, and I don't have a formal dining room anymore. We downsized and got rid of my beautiful table and chairs and hutch, and it was just gorgeous. And I sold it to the first person who saw it, and it's just, I miss it. But I also miss all the area that I had in my big house. But you know, that's just life. You eventually have to give up some of the things you love in order to survive. No, I was surviving. But what I mean by that is the stairs were wreaking havoc on my knees. And the master bedroom was on the 3rd floor. The laundry was on the bottom floor. My scrapbook room was on the bottom floor, and all the main rooms were on the 2nd floor. But it was so worth it. We had a beautiful pond with swans, and it was just very relaxing. We'd go out on our deck and, you know, enjoy it. And then we had a hot tub also. So in the wintertime when it would snow, we would get out there, and it's really hard at first, but we would get out there and have a house robe on over our swimsuit, and then you take your house robe off, and then you have a major chill. And what's exhilarating is getting into that water after being so cold. And I know some people are thinking, exhilarating my foot. Well, you do kind of feel that way. You feel like, that's crazy. How can that be exhilarating? But it is. And in no time at all, you're hot. It's the craziest thing. And then when you go to get out, it's that exhilarating feeling again. But that was one of the first things we sewed, because we just didn't use it as much. You know, in Oklahoma, to have a hot tub outside, the only time you really can use it is in the wintertime. And we didn't get it done that much in the wintertime, because, you know, you want to bundle up and hide from the world and just enjoy the cold. Now, I'm not like doing a lot of piecing on this decoupage. I would if I had lots of time, but I figure we will touch up any blank areas for sure. But I wanted to do the front and the back of these cards because I just think they look better if you've got enough stuff to do it. And trust me, I am not lacking in napkins. I just pulled out a few little things. You have a tendency when you decoupage, you have a tendency to go back and buy anything and everything you think will look nice on your decoupage. And so that was me. I was one of those people. And not only do you have a whole package of decoupage envelopes, you have enough for the rest of your life. And you usually end up maybe using your favorites more often, but yeah, it's funny. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of piece a little bit here on the side. If I can get some decoupage on here. Now, you obviously will be able to tell this. If I don't like the way this looks, this card will just end up shorter. I just take and make it shorter on one side and see what we end up with. But now I don't like to cover up the parts I like, you know, because it makes a difference on how it ends up looking. I'm sorry if I have morning voice today, guys. I actually slept longer last night than I have, and can't I tell you, it's been a long time. Because I went back to taking my regular sleep pill. I just thought it wasn't working very good. Well, something wasn't working because I was waking up just all the time. And I just wasn't sleeping at all. And I was a zombie during the day, trying to get my work done that I wanted to get done around here. You know, housework. No, I can't do housework anymore. Unfortunately, I have to have somebody help me with that. I'm just not able to do it anymore. I really miss it because I'm very picky, and I can't seem to find anybody that I like how they do, you know, the cleaning. Because I'm allergic to dust and dust mites and all the very common ones, peanuts and egg yolk and stuff like that. And fragrances, you guys, I'm allergic to fragrances. That was a tough one. I still have not found a hair conditioner that is safe for me to wear or to use. And with my big blop of hair, you got to have some hair. You got to have some something to keep it from being wild. Okay, we have one little spot right here, and I'm looking to see if I have any more of this. And I don't, so let me make sure we're in camera. I get kind of involved before you know it's right in front of you. I'm sorry if I've had you out of camera, guys. Making you listen to me ramble on and have you out of camera, that's just wrong. So I also, like I said, I'm just going to do a couple different decoupaged items. I've cut out different shapes, like, you know, of course, my little file pages, and various sizes of tags. And then I did about 5 of each color. And yeah, so there we go. We have already covered over this one, I believe. That terrible, I don't even remember. So let's just give it a real fast coat. Gentle coat. You want to be very gentle. not to rip up what we just put down. My husband and I, like I said, went shopping at some vintage stores. I found a table and chairs. I don't have my dining room done, but I will show it to you when I get it done. It's simply a little country kitchen. It's a creamy white color. Now, I'm doing this little girl because I have wanted to do this little girl forever and never have had a reason to do it. But I decided we don't have to have a reason. I've had these napkins for a long time, and I just think she's adorable. And I think you've probably seen her picture on a lot of different things, but she makes she makes decoupage look so adorable. But I have a little girl book I believe I haven't finished. I might have been waiting on this. I can't remember. I order things and then I'm like, okay, what book did I order this for? I have to go back and rethink it. Like the little book that we were using a minute ago that had carousels and playgrounds and stuff. That's going to be for Mary Poppins. And you guys, I have a golden book of Mary Poppins. And since Mary Poppins is coming out, we're going to do a Mary Poppins book. I'm waiting on the paper, like I said, that I ordered, but it's it has to do with carousels, and I guess they find themselves in situations where they're doing other things, but I'm trying to get this done this morning early because we are in the Christmas putting up the tree mode. Got the tree up, and that's as far as it got. It's been sitting there a couple days. We work in our own at our own little pace, which is not very fast, I must say. Okay, now I forgot to put it on the back. I didn't decoupage all the way back to the card, and you don't have to, but I would recommend that you decoupage over the card portion for sure. Kind of gives it the same feel when it dries. Okay, now this one is going to be a card. And then the other one we're doing with her is going to be a little file. If I can get it off of here. This is going to be one of our favorite little things. File folders. I love them. Okay, now let's see how well this will go. If I start sounding like I'm half asleep, it's probably because I am. No, I'm quite awake. Unfortunately, I'm quite awake this morning. You never know what your morning or your day's going to bring. Now, I'm not putting her on there just like super perfect. I'm just spreading gently when you pull it up to get an air pocket out, because they do get inside, especially when the person with the brush that's doing the gluing, they get impatient. They want you to get it down so you can get it all dried and ready. Once all these dry, it depends on the situation on whether or not I go back and decoupage the back portion. Probably I will not, because I like people to be able to journal in different places in their books. And see right there, it just tore because I got carried away. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this white that I had left over. And it won't look as good as it did, but it'll be less noticeable. Okay, there we go. Got something in my eye. Excuse me. Just dropped my glasses. Let me get them. You don't want me not to have my glasses on. Okay, I'm looking at our other ones as I drop my glasses the second time. We now have another full decoupaged paper that needs to be moved. Now, I'm going to pick it up and move it across the room. Please be patient as I have to do these kind of things so we have plenty of room. They're looking really pretty, and I know once they dry and we ink them and we embellish anything we want to embellish, and usually I do the embellishing at the same time we do the page. So I'm going to move this out of my way very slowly as they want to roll on top of each other. This is why I like to decoupage and do it and get it done, you know. I am not a decoupage one thing at a time kind of person. Now, I have before. But if I have my favorite things that I want to do, I will get them done. And then if it's not what I need at the time, I'll decoupage one thing at a time. But I've got one wanting to curl over here. And I don't want it to be the little girl where she curls into a ball. Okay, now I'm going to change this paper that I'm working on. As you notice, I pulled out my old grungy, board because, yeah, I know I could have done this on my Tim Holtz, but why take the pretty away from it when you have a bunch of grungy ones that you can work from, you know? So this time, I thought we'd go back to doing, let's see. I had 3 different Tim Holtz ones, and I have several napkin ones that I want to get done. I'm sorry, I'm having to drink every now and then because I've been taking an antibiotic and requires you drinking a whole glass of water, which is not the easiest thing for Paula. Sorry. I'm telling you, my room, if you could see my room right now, I have stuff piled everywhere. I'm trying to get some more parchment paper out to lay the wet ones on because, yeah, I do waste a lot of parchment paper. I'm sure there's ways to do this without using as much as I do, but I don't care. I don't mind using it. Whatever to get the job done, right? Okay, now, this is a cute little lavender with green stems and yellow flowers, or yellow little butterflies. And what you'll notice is I just am doing a variety of sizes. And I base it off of what I have. One napkin I'm using, and I base it off of that one napkin, whatever I can fit on there. Unless there's something particular I want to do, I will usually do it first. And now if I'm wanting it to not look so perfect, I do that too. But when I mass produce them like this, I usually try to fix it where I can just decoupage them straight on. You know, it's lots less work. You can get it done much faster. And I just am laying different shapes. You know, my favorite little shape is this little file. Little file folder. It reminds me of a medical file, you know, and I worked in the medical field forever, and I loved it, and I miss it terribly, but I am not physically able to do that anymore. So I just do the things that everybody looks forward to doing when they get, you know, at that retirement age or close to it. My just sitting here with a paintbrush doing decoupage is not hard on me. And nothing I do is hard on me. If it was, I wouldn't be able to do it. This is what I call my play work. Are you going to play, is what my husband will say. And I'll be like, yes, I'm going to play. You play on your computer, I'll play on my craft table. And I think it was Gail I heard the other day talking about how her and her husband have that perfect situation where he's upstairs doing his electronic stuff and she's downstairs doing her arts and crafts. And she said, couldn't be more perfect. She says, I spend the morning down here, he spends his morning up there, and it's the truth. That's how it is. My husband's, he's dragging his feet, retiring. He loves to work, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think the longer you can physically work, the better. You know, he's in pretty good shape. That he's getting close to being a diabetic. He needs to straighten up. We're not good for each other. We've decided when it comes to food, one of us well, we diet all the time. I mean, you know, we try to eat healthier. And is it major success? No. Sometimes for a couple weeks we do really good. But we're gonna have to like find a place to walk in the winter, and we have a walking trail out our back door, and we'll get on that sometimes, but I usually wait till after dark because I don't like to. If you don't, you run into every person in the neighborhood. And I mean, I love my neighborhood, and there's a lot of people I love in our neighborhood. It's just that you can't get the job done and get back to getting something, you know, getting back settled in, get your shower. But I haven't been walking since I hurt my back. I did not hurt my back. At least if I hurt it, I don't know when I hurt it. I have degenerative arthritis, and my back, you know, just had bulging disc and all that goes along with that. So we went the very conservative way to start with. Try to fix my back in a more simple way without all the hardware and so forth in my back. But that did not help. So a year later, I had to go in and have some fusions done in my back. And so when you have degenerative arthritis, you pretty much end up with it everywhere at some point. So, hey, this is the last one like this, but see how fast these are going? We're knocking these little babies out. They don't look too pretty yet because we haven't trimmed them, but we'll finish them once they dry. I'm going to get it off of here without tearing it up. Okay, put it to the side. I might have room on this sheet for some more. Try not to, oh, you know what, I just told a fib. I have a couple more small ones. It's like they get away from me. They get mixed in the batch. So I try to do most of my wetting of my tag first, and it just seems to go a little faster. This is my what I call simple decoupaging. You can doll it up with some inks. Use like a lavender ink on that one. I think would be pretty. And but it will look like you spent hours, you know, working on your decoupaging, because it's so much fun, but yet not super hard. It's not one of those everything has to be straight kind of thing. You just plop it on there, decide where you want it, and voila, you've got you some tags. And then when you're like, I don't know what to put on this page, you know, you've got this yellow and lavender page and just can't figure it out. This is what you do. You grab one of these. Now, also, I've got a series of little things I want us to do together to pre-make some simple things. To kind of prepare for some of the upcoming items we're going to make. And, oh, if I messed that one up, let me kind of fix it real fast to the side here. I got carried away going too fast with my fabric. My decoupaging napkin. And if you're real careful when you fix it, it's not super noticeable. I'm going to see if I can steal some decoupage paper from another tag to put on that one spot. Try to cover it up. Yeah. Problem solved. You'll never know it. If I can get this one blob off of here. Okay, now, I thought we would do some butterflies. I think these little butterflies are so cute. I think I got these at Tuesday morning. And they're simple. See how simple they are? I hope I'm staying in camera, guys. I'm working really hard to try to. You know how it is, though, when you're doing something that kind of gets spread out. Let's do this and get some of that messy out of the way. All right, let's just do a simple little tag first. You just wet it with your decoupage glue, and then just lay your butterflies on. I hope you guys have had a good weekend. We had a very busy one. I went down to pick up the buffet that went with my table and last Saturday, and they closed. Someone was sick, so they were closed due to illness. And I was like, oh great. It's okay that they couldn't call us and say, hey, before we drove all the way down there. And it's like an hour and a half or two away from our house, but it was a little bit irritating, but we didn't make a big deal out of it. But now we have all the pieces. And if you saw how small my dining room was, you'd be like, how did you get that in there? But we did, and it's plenty of room. The lady refinished it. We were going to go buy, we had found this really cute gray table with the off-white creamy color chairs. The chairs alone were $300. And it's kind of hard to swallow that when you have kids leaning back in the chairs and breaking legs all the time. They don't do it on purpose. They don't think about it. But I've had several brand new chairs get the legs broke off before. So Okay, so we have some butterflies. And what we'll do with these butterflies is we'll make some dimensional ones when we put it in the book. And see if we can't pop them up a little bit, you know. I think we end up doing mostly tags on the butterflies. I thought these were so cute. It's like every other piece of napkin. You wouldn't believe the boxes of napkins I have. We need to do a napkin swap. You know, because if you're like me, when you buy them, you end up with a million napkins. You'll never use all of them. I plan on doing a butterfly themed book also at some point. And a bird, just an overall view of birds. And then I've got one where I want to do like a cooking book. And what else? Got several different things lined up. I've got a couple novel looking books that just have beautiful covers that I want to do. And of course, one of my 75 or more golden books. I pretty much have, well, I have about 75 or more golden books to choose from. And I really need to put out a list, and so people who want certain ones have that opportunity to have it made. Kind of wetting my brush a little bit because we're getting sticky. See, I think these little butterfly ones would be cute if we did like a collaged, like a dimension is what I'm trying to say. If we put dimension on them. Okay, let me set this down on the floor. Believe it or not, we've already filled another one and it's wanting to attach itself. Now the big question here is, where do I put it? Hold on for 1 second while I try to not dump them all on top of each other. Oh, I got a spot over here. Okay. Just kind of fixing them where they're not overlapping as they dry. We have 3 big pieces of parchment paper that's all spread out and ready for, which I love doing it this way because we can really knock them out. I hope it's not boring, you guys. I'm sure my half-awake voice is enough to annoy you as it is. You know, it's so funny because I'll watch videos of people and you can tell, you know, and I'm guilty of the very same thing because I've done the very same thing. But like, let's say for instance, someone takes something for pain or migraine or whatever it is that person might have, myself included. Excuse me, I had to get a drink. And then they're really funny on those times. And kind of fun to watch because, you know, they don't realize that they're sounding all slurred. And listen, I've deleted videos where I've sound, you know, like I've had one too many, and I haven't because I don't drink. But it's usually because I've had a lot of pain that day or something and just need something to relax my muscles and tendons and so forth. But it's just funny because then they'll start laughing, and before you know it, you're laughing because they're laughing and they're cracking you up. But it just makes for a fun video when people can just be their self. Okay, this one does not want to lay straight. Let's move it up here where everybody can see. Maybe it's that way. It's way of saying, Paula, you're not in camera. What did we ever do before Mosh Posh? That's what I want to know. We would color with crayons. Do you remember how we would color the whole page black? You do a heavy black coat of crayons on your paper. And you're just like doing solid black. You cover the whole page. And it ends up being just all one color. So then you take like an old pen or a paper clip or something like that, and you draw a picture. After you put the black on, then you go in and do like a rainbow across it so that you have different color sections. And then you can draw anything you want. Guys would draw hot rods or dinosaurs or something crazy. Girls would draw fashion. I remember thinking, I love this whole art thing. You know, I can do this all day. It's a lot of fun. So you guys, let me see how far along we've gone. I don't want to totally bore everybody to death. Hold on. We've got about 10 minutes. Okay, we'll finish these butterflies. Because I don't want to bore you guys. I know some people don't like more than 30 minutes. Some people don't like more than 15 minutes. But the ones of you that do like for it to be an hour, I don't want to disappoint you either. So, and it's hard to get anything done in less than an hour. I'll just be honest. I don't want to spend hours at my computer editing, you know, tapes. And that's just not going to happen. It would take too much of my free time, which it still takes a long time to work on. It's my husband's new job. He puts all my videos on, puts my titles on. So guys, if the titles are weird, it's not Paula. It's not me. This next paper, after I do this one long one here, is going to be a really cute Tim Holtz new tissue. When I say new, it's been out for a few months, but I didn't discover it right away. Trying to get this thing to... I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I thought it would make a good fill-in folder or something, you know. Okay, last butterfly. I'm going to move this up in just a second so you can see. Trying to get some of the wrinkles out here. That's the one thing about Mod Podging. You have to watch your paper because it will fill up with air if you don't kind of burp it, I guess. I don't worry about it too much, to tell you the truth. If it turns out it needs to be burped, it's not going to get burped. But I've had people talk about that before. I'm like, that's just a little bit too much. Okay, so let's put this little bit at the bottom, because we have a little white spot right there. There we go. Now we'll add a little bit more decoupage glue down here gently. The nice thing too about these is you can also put coats of not coats, but quotes of, you know, different things that you can look up quotes on Pinterest or whatever, and use a really nice black pen with some white highlights. And it can turn out really nice. Okay, we have 4 big pages of, let me see. We can do a couple more. And I'm just going to try to leave them on this paper. So I've got some birds because, oh, sorry guys, my lamp is going a little bonkers. Okay, I've got some really, started off, I was going to do these birds. And now it's at the end of the video and I haven't done the birds. So we're going to do that right now. So I'm going to mix up a little bit more water because it gets thick the longer you use it. This is another Tim Holtz paper, and I'm just lining it up, and anything that's left blank on top or bottom, I can go back and add some pieces to that once it dries. You know, it's kind of hard when you got 10 different kinds of paper stacked up on top of the other. But here's the next one. I think we might have some left over for the next one. Oh, I think that was the leftover. See, you can tell I prepped these really quite a bit ago. All right, so I thought we'd stick what was on the bottom here, right up here. Now, if these wouldn't curl, it would make life a lot easier. But they do. That's all right. They do straighten out once it's a permanent thing. Okay, I'm going to lay that piece of tissue to the side. And I'll try leaving that there for now. See what we can come up with. I'm trying to do these little scenes kind of different. So no two are alike. And I just like these little branches. Okay, we'll have to add some to the bottom of that. But I thought we'd do several at a time. Can you guys see? Let me look. Yeah. It's a miracle, I know, that I'm staying in camera when it's now 6:30 in the morning. I'll be ready to lay down about the time my husband's ready to get up. I'll be like, I need a little nap, a little siesta. And that's when he'll run eat breakfast. I do not like to get up and go eat breakfast. Of course, it's Sunday, but we don't have our tree up, so today we are staying home and getting that done because our grandkids expect it. You know, their family, their parents don't have to necessarily do everything certain ways, but my grandkids want everything done at Grammy and Papa's house like they're accustomed to. If I don't put out stockings, or I made all their stockings when they were born, and they like having their stockings. They don't like any kind of tradition change. Like last year, my oldest grandson, he grew a foot. I mean, that kid, his pajama pants were short on him, everything. And he didn't especially like having to wear penguins. I got him all the same pajamas, but they were so cute. He goes, really, Grammy, penguins? And I said, yes, I'm sorry. Well, and come to find out later, his were a woman's size. But they had a section that was like for the whole family, you know. And I thought, how easy is that? They can all look just alike and it will make cute pictures. And it did. It made cute pictures. But it was funny because here's Elliot trying to hide in the back in the pictures dressed like a penguin. The thing I tell my grandkids, I said, you guys are so adorable doing the things you do for your Grammy. It's all right, Grammy. They know that the end result is going to be a decent gift. Anyway. We've started this, I think it was this year, or last year, we started drawing names for the adults. Because, you know, I don't know if you guys are like us, but most of us adults can just go get what we want. Kids is a little bit different, you know. They want something all the time. So we like to get them all one nice thing at least. Which ends up being a whole lot of nice things before it's all said and done. Well, I'm going to need headset. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need that. And then they still expect their stockings, you know. Listen, we moved into an apartment. This is when we were having one of our houses built. It's been a while back. We moved into a duplex. And I did not bring their stockings. I just filled a Ziploc bag full of fruit, nuts, and candies, and a gift, you know. And my son, the oldest one of the kids, was like, where's our stockings? Why don't we have our stockings? And I'm like, since when did you care if we had stockings? He obviously did. He says, I don't like this not having our regular Christmas tree. And I'm thinking, first of all, you're married. And, you know, we have the things in boxes. But anyway, so they just sewed their big, giant, it was like a 3-story house. And it was beautiful and very unique. But anyway, he just sold it, and they're in the process of trying to decide whether they're going to build, what they're going to do, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. He has a big business that he can just actually take some of the empty rooms and just make them into bedrooms. And he had a full nice bathroom with a jetted tub, and it's more like a hot tub. And of course showers and all that. And my little granddaughter, she's up in a loft. They made a little loft for her so she could have her own little separate space. And so they're homeschooled. With the way Mom and Dad work, it's just easier. And they're doing well. Oldest one's in the 9th grade. And I think the middle one is 7th grade. And then the girls, well, my son has one girl, but my daughter has one. I think both of them are in the 5th or 6th grade. It's just like it's happening overnight, you know. They grow up. I hate it. I tell them all the time, come here, I'm going to put a rock on you. And they'll say, Grammy. And I'm like, yeah, come here. I'm going to put a rock on your head. And you do not take it off or you'll get in trouble. Grammy, you're funny. I'm like, No, I'm serious. I don't want to see you grow an inch. But our oldest one, like I said, he has really great. He's 6 foot and he's just turned 15. He's taller than almost anybody else in the family. I'm gonna keep, that's an extra one. Let's not waste it. Let's just pull out a big tag. I don't know why we ended up with an extra one, but this will just get thrown away if we don't use it. So what I do is I just decoupage the area, and you can tear your pieces apart and overlap things and make it less neat. But it depends on the paper that I'm using. You know, sometimes it's just easier to do it this way, especially when you have a lot to do. And we have one more kind to do. Let me see the time. Well, guys, it's an hour, but let me show you what they look like. They're kind of cool. They're just black and white florals with leaves and writing in the background. So I'll do the same thing we've just been doing. I'm glad you joined me. I would have been bored out of my mind with no one to talk to while I did this. I hope it wasn't boring. We'll go back and we'll trim these off and ink around them and have them all ready, and all we have to do is put them in a book. So I hope you guys enjoyed this morning's video with the half awake Paula and the half asleep Paula. No, I'm actually awake. All right, guys, you have a good day, and we'll see you next time. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you.